with It's Nails to You. Okay, y'all. It's been a few, I don't know, it's been a little bit, not too long. So, y'all, I've been waiting to go live for the longest. I lost my voice. Seasonal allergies. Hey. Um, but there was gonna be some times where I went live with just doing somebody's nails and not saying nothing, but I didn't want y'all to think, like, "Oh, why she not talking?" So, I'm live, and as y'all can see in the title, today is a Q&A. So if you come amongst this video and you have any questions pertaining to nails or about just in general, with nails, comment in the comment section. Comment down below and we can get it resolved. Um, it's a new world, y'all. It's a new world. So I am going to spit this out here in a couple of weeks, y'all. A couple of weeks. I am going to be hosting a nail boot camp. Y'all do not want to miss this. It's going to be discussing all those questions you have and or troubles that you have regarding nails, whether it's prep, whether it's retention, whether it's bead ratio. You're going to want to check this out, y'all. I would not miss this. Um, it's going to be fire. I've already been spreading the word. I've been spreading the word everywhere else. So don't be mad I didn't say nothing to YouTube first. But you gotta, um, the group is going to be boot camp itself is going to be occurring on Facebook. Okay, so pretty much everybody have Facebook, so that's not gonna be an issue. Okay, so all I gotta say is y'all be ready to go live. Make sure you have your tools if you want, or you can watch along. It does not matter. The idea is to really pop those ideas into your head about your technique. In the nail world, there are different techniques that you can go by, and I'm looking for my hand, y'all. There are different techniques that you could go by, but what you want is you want a technique that is wholesome. You want a technique that can really bring you forth. You want a technique that shows your level of skill that is out this world where people look to you and they know that you are pro. No matter how long you've been doing it. Me personally, y'all, um, I started doing nails when I was very young age. Now, was it consistent? No, it wasn't. But as became an adult, it has been consistent. I started when I was like a little girl. But when the moment I became a teenager and I was actually allowed, because that was the thing. The only thing when I was younger able to do was here's a little bit about me, y'all. I was only allowed to do, the mediocre nail stuff like polish, press ons, designs. And so that's why when I was younger, I went into doing pedicures first. So when I got older, at the age of 16, my mom allowed me to deal with acrylic. So that's when I really went, in for the acrylic. And I kept it at a level of just being an enthusiast. I never really people would ask me like, "Hey, can you do my nails?" And I was like, "Nah." And then finally, I decided like, wait a minute. Next thing I know, I'm just here. So, um, those like that's a little bit about me, but again, you could have been like me, blotchy with it throughout the years, and it doesn't matter how many years. I've seen people that's come in only been a year and it look like they've been doing nails for about 10 years because they stay focused. They all they do is practice, practice, practice. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. When it comes to this game, the nail game, you always have to elevate your craft. I feel like a lot of people, and I see this time and time again, especially on social media, they get to a certain point and they think that's it, then they run into something they never seen or ran or heard before, and they don't know what to do with themselves. And like I see, it's really cool how people they go out and they want to extend their hand, oh, do this, do this, do that, do that. And the weird part about it is, have them not licensed. I'm not saying, but personally, if you're gonna give some professional license, feel at least be licensed. But in all honesty, you should always want to level up your skill. As long as I've been doing this, as great as my technique is, like I'm always like doing what I need to do, researching, going out to workshops and all that. A lot of people think it's just so scammy um to go to somebody. Like if somebody came to me or I went out to somebody, obviously if you haven't got your license yet, get your license. But the school's not gonna always teach you. There are schools out there, they're gonna teach you the whole nine, the game, the sanitation process, all of that, how to gain clientele and everything. But most schools, they only teach you the basics enough to prevent a lot of things, bacteria and all that different stuff. That's all they teach you, and you get your license, and that's it. You have to scout out the rest. That's why you want to look out for people who is out here trying to teach it how to better up on your B ratio, want to better up on your technique, want to better up on the nerve retention, want to better up on the prep game. You want to go to stuff like that because you already know the foundation, which is what you should start with first by staying sanitized and all of that different stuff. But okay, now it's time to really put them get them skills like up there, right? That's what you want to do. It's nothing wrong with doing that. And I just want to put that out there. Now, when it comes to this workshop, that's exactly what that is. It's literally it's well not workshop, boot camp. This boot camp is gonna set you up for probably a technique you probably never even knew about. I've saw and come across so many different techniques. And when I first professionally got into doing everybody's nails, I was doing I the consistency and accuracy is so key, y'all. If what you do to one hand, you need to do to the other. What you do to one nail, you need to do to the other. Unless there's something going on, like for instance, this person they ripped their I have a client, they ripped their nails off, whatever. They go back out. But I had to do the ripped off nail a little different from the rest of the nails were. So with that being said, again, my whole technique overall came with me creating the technique that worked for me, but not only just worked for me. I feel like a lot of people they get stuck right there. You need a technique that works for every client. Now, sometimes your technique needs a little for certain clients. Like for instance, you have clients who take certain medications and their body is rejecting that product that you're using. I know a lot of people like to holler, oh, get this product, get that, get this, get this brand. Guys, the same brand does not work for everybody. It doesn't. It does not work for everybody. This is my go-to, one of my go-to brands. No, I'm not sponsored or anything, but if you pay close attention, you're not gonna see me with the same brands. I put this on a client, baby. This brand did not like. I'm trying to tell, and this is one of my clients that's on medication. This is a whole nother brand. I put this on a client. They don't have any medications, that could reject it, but it didn't work for them. Here's another brand. You have to learn the brands that really suit your client. That comes with being a nail tech. That's a part of your technique. If you didn't know that, you finna know it today. Or when you come across this video, or when you go and learn on that boot camp. I'm going to tell you, and it's still not the only brands. That's just one, two, three, four brands. I got another one that I use that I didn't use to. It's time to, you know. I've even intentionally switched up my primers to see like did this technique only set out for the other two primers that I was using. I had to really test it out. I've even tested out different brands of polish. I've come to learn that the polishes, the white polish on this one brand, that I love the brand, I love it. But this polish, the white polish, it only works well with acrylic. If you try to put it on the natural nails, baby, you have to do some other stuff for it to really stay. It's kind of like chalky like, and it can chip easily if you don't know what you're doing when you put it on. So that means I'm definitely going to be getting white in another brand. Also, I found myself going, I've tried out so many different brands of, um, and I'm not gonna name any brands because I'm not knocking any brands. You get what works for you, your technique. That's the idea here. So, anyways, this particular brand that I use, that I never stopped using it, but I kind of took it off of it being my main brand. But now it's back my main brand because baby, I don't have no issues with this brand. And I know a lot of people, oh, it's cheap. It's not cheap if it stays on. It has quality. You don't have to stray away from something just because it's cheap. You know what I mean? You're looking at the quality of it, the longevity. You know what I'm saying? That's the things that you want to look at, how it works on your clients with their body chemistry. That's what you're looking for. Just because a product is $5 and this same product is 50 doesn't mean that this product is what you need to purchase. You have to do some, it's called testing. That's the thing in this world. If you are, especially if you're independent, you have to figure out what works for these clients. You have to, or you know what I mean? I've even had people come through and say, hey, no, that product didn't work for me. That's not to say it didn't stay on. It's just I've had people, I've been using the same um cuticle oil for like 2 years. And I had one client, she said, hey, I noticed she's a repetitive client. Hey, this oil, it makes me itch and I get this other, and I'm like, oh no, 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 we're not doing that. But see, in this case, we wasn't aware that neither her nor I was aware of it. So I said, okay, well, thankfully I carry 3 different cuticle oils because of this issue. Okay, so those are things to take into consideration. Like I said, I use about one, two, three, four, um, five. The other one I'm not buying it no more. There's some I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that anymore. There's some that I'm like, yeah, I'm going back to buy that. But I can't. You have to try out different brands. You have to try out different products. That's all I can tell you when it comes to that. That's a part of your technique. It's a major part of your technique. Um, y'all, I didn't kind of went in the boot camp mode already. Like, y'all go check out that boot camp. Like, it's gonna be fun facts that you're going to learn. As a matter of fact, one of the goals, is to help you to um open up your mind, and because you have to have an open mind when it comes to this field. You have to. People, you have to give it consideration of people's lifestyle. It plays a big role. Sally, I'm just using these names for an example, so I don't need nobody saying she was talking about me. But Sally might come in and her work or her day-to-day tasks might be so mundane that all she do is she's like what's her Sally's a stay-at-home parent, okay? And I'm gonna try to keep gender out of this as much as possible. But anyways, let's say, well, that don't matter anyways. Yeah, anyway. But and don't get that twisted. Having them kids all day can can be quite a bit on the nails. Like the other day, my son, y'all, caught himself trying to get mad and accidentally hit my nail on the doggone table. And then oh my gosh, it hurt it bad. Like my son was just, I had to hold him accountable. I did, because I was like, that's unacceptable. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. So it just depends on the day-to-day task. Let's say Jeannie came in and she's like, oh yeah, I do hardcore labor. Let's say like she's into like plumbing or contract work. And yes, there's really, women that come in and do that. And let's say, you know what I mean? Let's say Ash came in and she was like, oh, I'm on the computer all day. I type all day. I do video conferences. And don't ever first think that typing is not hard on the nails. It can be depending on how hard they're typing. So you got somebody that's a stay-at-home mom. You got somebody that's um you got somebody that's in construction, and you got somebody who's a typist and video conference 24/7. You know what I mean? I love we just don't over exaggerate it either way because it's just to kind of give you that idea of the wide spectrum that everybody is not the same. Their lifestyle. So that just because the technique worked for Jeannie doesn't mean it worked for Sally. It might work perfect for Ash and somewhat for Sally. And you never know. Hell, Ash might be sitting up typing with her nails. That's not good at all. We don't even want to get into that with that can cause or just steady clacking and tipping it. That's not no. I had to literally explain that to a client. You can't do that. You can't do that with nails. I don't care how good they on there. Don't do that. Get out of the habit of constant. It's okay to do it every once in a while, but all the time. I know some people. I found out they were consistently. It was like basically she even like I was even told it was a luck thing to clack like that. And I'm like, what? It might seem like a luck thing on one end, but on this other end, it ain't lucky because it was some damage that was going on, and so if you can try to explain to them, hey, try not to type with your nails. I mean, they do what they want to do, but if they have issues with nails, because we have to give them the consideration of your technique, you have to give them the consideration of what the client is doing. So those are some things to kind of tap into when you are resolving your technique and if there's an issue with the client and their nails. Those are some things to kind of consider. So you got product, and then you have having an open mind, you know. And these are just everyday things that people look past that we don't talk about. People don't think or know to talk about it. Sorry, I'm writing down as I go. Just some reminders for a few things that has to be taken care of. But yeah, y'all check out this boot camp. Do not, I repeat, do not pass up this boot camp. I know you're gonna love it. There's gonna be a workbook involved to keep you guys engaged. There's gonna be homework, just to really have you to kind of get your mind out of your usual, whether you just starting out or whether you've been doing it forever or just in the middle or in the midst or whatever. Really kind of think about that. You know what I mean? So enough of that. I also wanted to put this out here. I recently updated the online store. I want to kind of put this out here. I am currently open for one-on-one, online and in-person classes. Um, if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check out the link in the bio. I might go ahead and put it in the description as well. I already do weekly classes with individuals where they after their first initial class, they decide I want to continue to do class, and we do it weekly. It's so fun. It's interesting. It's so cool to watch. The individuals go from being so scared to put on an acrylic bead on a fake finger or real fingernail to mastering that cuticle bead. That is, I don't care which eye anybody says that is a great feeling. Not for me, but for the individual because it's something that you really want to achieve. So just kind of put that out there. Check that out. Also, now let's get to the Q&A. I didn't spend a lot of time talking about this boot camp, but it's important, y'all. Check out that boot camp. It was just some things to kind of think about when it comes to the boot camp. Like I said, y'all, I've already started spreading this word on Facebook, so y'all might want to tune in. Speaking of, I should have pulled up the other stream because I do plan on going live on uh on Facebook. So um so I'm gonna hop on Facebook too, y'all. Don't be mad, y'all. Don't be mad. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, I didn't go with side check. Let me go live on here. All right, I'm gonna put the link to sign up for the boot camp in here as well. Okay. Maybe I need to put it. Y'all, I'm always. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, hopefully let me go. Um, Let me see if it'll let me go. No, Okay, whatever. I'm gonna put this one up here. Hold on, YouTube. And then I'm gonna put this one right here on this tripod. And we can continue on with the questions. So, Facebook, I am currently live with YouTube, and I've already been kind of discussing things with YouTube about the boot camp. Right now we're on Q&A, so I'll just get back with y'all on the boot camp. But yeah, go sign up for that boot camp, y'all. Also, so the Q&A is going to be about, excuse me, y'all. Alright, so the Q&A is today's just gonna be like common questions, probably about prep. Okay, I can't see my face. Okay, there we go. Probably about prep, and then probably about bead ratio. So prep and bead ratio. Okay, so let's start with prep. Cause you gotta do that first before you do bead ratio. There is a lot of like different methods and techniques that you can do. Let me get my there's a lot of methods and techniques that you can go about when it comes to prep. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, there's also um techniques that are pretty much like I'm gonna make you my you know who, and you're gonna set up right, you're gonna function right no matter what. And you have that prep technique where there's little to no issues, no lifting, none of that. The nail stays on and the client comes back and it's just on there, right? Y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I've gotten so well with prep that clients like if they and we don't need this happening, but this just goes to show how well that the prep has been on there. Hold on, y'all need to get some lip gloss. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I gotta get some lip gloss. I don't like dry lips. Okay. Indeed. Okay. I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. So the prep, one thing that I don't hear like literally no one talking about on prep. A lot of people have come to the notion that you don't have to push that cuticle back, and I disagree. I strongly disagree. And it's funny because even when you're like in school, at least when I was in school, we were taught to push the cuticle back, push that skin back, because you are left with some surprises. Now, when you versus where you don't. Now, I do know that I've just recently found, and this comes with research, and just again goes having that open mind. That was something we were talking about. I was talking with on YouTube. But having an open mind and knowing that there's things out there that can aid in helping, you know, with a difference. There's a tool that I just come across where they claim, I'm not saying I've tried it, I haven't tried it, but let me find out that there's a tool where this tool, I'm going to get it too, where you don't have to at all push back that cuticle. But here's the reason why I say you are needing to push back the cuticle, because you are met with things, and I'm finna show you guys, you are met with things that are hiding underneath that skin down there that don't show when you don't push it back. So therefore, when you place, we're gonna talk about acrylic because that's mostly what we get into. When you place that last cuticle bead on there, based off the 3 bead method. Now, obviously, you could do even when it's the 1 bead method. I know there's a thing going around that be going around about 1 bead versus 2 bead versus 3 bead. 3 bead method is one of the easiest methods to go by when somebody is learning fresh. I have my days. I'm like, forget it. 1 bead. Do. And if you learn my technique, you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna do with Patty and pat, down, next nail. Then there's days I'm like, I gotta get with the nitty gritty, and I just do a 3 beat method. It just depends on you, and sometimes which you know the client needs. Some clients you probably need to go and do that. I don't know. It just depends. Okay, as you get into doing nails more, you'll understand that where I'm coming from. But anyways, let's get back to the prep and the cuticle. Like I said, after sanitizing those nails, which hopefully y'all doing that when you do people's nails, you sanitize your hands and they sanitize their ears, whether it's washing them with soap and water, any bag soap and water, or putting their hand sanitizer on you. Okay. Anyways, um, we've pushed back that you're met with skin that is on top of the nail plate down there. Not all clients have it, but a lot of times, see, when I used to work at a certain nail salon, um, we used to call them certain things. It is called something. I'm not gonna really dish it out, especially for those who don't have licenses. Yeah. But technically, when you do like the textbook version, this is called something else, and then right here is called something. That's actually the skin that's sitting on top of the nail. That's actually the cuticle. But we don't want to get into that. A lot of people, and it's weird. I don't see nobody really discussing it. Just cuticle, and then they're we rushing into. And it's nothing against these new products at all. It was so funny how we went into the for the longest time we had the regular nail barrel where you put the sanding bang on it for years, decades. Now all of a sudden we have the little skinny version that can actually get in the crevice, which is good, I guess. Now I just discovered that there's even different barrel where you don't have to you get no sanding. I'm just like, okay, teachers are you because you know what that barrel might not work on it. I don't use it. Like that's another thing. I don't use the same barrel on every client. Some of them I just use the regular one. I know they say don't use the sanding band on a client, but it's okay if you're using the right grit, guys. Like I use a sanding band, and none of my clients have line, the line of fire, line demarcation, whatever you want to call it. They don't have that line where the new growth is moving in, growing in from their nail, and then the other part is thin because you've overfiled. I even have clients, I don't even pull the filter. And not everybody even knows how to prep the nail with a buffer. And I've seen techs come across a lot of times where they've had to go into the manual way. And it's like, did you not learn this? That's something you should know. You should always know the manual way when it comes to doing nails, period. You know what I mean? You should always know the manual way. I don't care what nobody say. There was a time I think where tips wasn't being able to be shipped. So everybody had to literally build their tip. Everybody know how to do that. You should always learn the manual way. I'm serious. When you get some extra time outside of do people's nails, practice the manual way. You never know when it comes a time where manufacturers go down, and yes, it's possible this day and age. Look at a lot of stuff that's going on. So that's something to kind of put into consideration too. I always learn that manual way. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've encountered moments like that. I've had a client. She had a soak off. Y'all, my drill didn't. One of my drills, I forgot. Oh, I didn't charge it up. I'm just keep going. I don't got time for this. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. Obviously when you have clients, you don't have the time to sit up and wait for your drill to charge up. I don't know what happened. I thought that my drill was on the charger, but it wasn't. I don't know. Stuff happens. It's kind of like those moments where you're going to sleep and you think you can put your phone on the charger, it's not plugged up. That was me that day with that drill. Then my backup drill, I don't even remember. I couldn't even remember where I had it, and we was on go time. I was like, you know what? Forget it. We got to move manually. And in those cases, it's moments like that where it forces you to place the acrylic on so perfect. You know why? You know why? Because you ain't got no drill to properly put it in place or seal it the way it needs. So guess what? You got to seal it manually. And everybody don't know how to do that. That's important to know. So when I sit here and say, oh, not to mention, y'all, it was the weirdest thing that day. I forgot to bring the acetone to the shop. Like I was just like, what in the world is going on? So I ended up. I don't know. It's pretty popular now. At this time, a lot of people wasn't aware of it. They didn't know about it. But I used Gel eraser. Yes, you can use gel eraser for acrylic. Yes, if y'all didn't know. So I ended up using gel eraser. Can't smack that off. Went straight into prepping the nail, push the skin back. As I stated, I had to prep the client's nail mainly. Of course, remember, we're taking off. So we don't have to do much buffing and filing on the part of the nail that's already had the nail. You only do a slight buff. You only, let me put this out for y'all. Because a lot of people don't notice. They think they got to file their life away. Talking about, oh, the nail got to be, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You don't have to have grit town on your nail. You're only removing the natural shine off of the nail plate. That's it. You only remove. I'm gonna tell y'all the key that keeps that. A lot of people think it's the product. No, it's not. Yes, you need primer so the acrylic can stay. Yes, when it comes to acrylic nails. But the top keys is the proper amount of dehydrate of a nail plate and the proper removal of that cuticle on that nail plate. Because what happens, and I'm gonna go back into that, when you place that cuticle bead on there, what happens is this cuticle, the acrylic, once it cures, of course, acrylic is called cure, but of course, acrylic you don't put in a lamp. For those who don't know, but when it basically dries or it begins to harden, it grows. A lot of people are not aware of this. That's how that product, no matter the brand, it grows. This is why the bead ratio is important. So, when I see here and I tell you and I say that once you place that, that's why it's important to leave a mild, little to mild space. It even expresses that in the My Lady Nail Technology book, guys. It's there. I recently saw an individual talking about, oh yeah, I'm leaving these spaces in there because I don't want it to flood. And I'm like, I didn't even say anything. I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, it ain't too much. Now, look at this. Like, obviously, y'all, I'm overdue for a new set. But, tell y'all, technique game out this world. Look at that. Um, yeah, don't mind the discoloration. Y'all deal with so many different colorful things. I be dealing with turmeric and everything. Anyways, but yes, look at that. Look at that. I want y'all to be able to see that. Not a lift. Not a lift. Okay? Now, I got pen, ink, everything on this. But anyways, this is why I don't like colored nails. But anyways, the acrylic, what it does when it starts to harden, cure, whatever, dry, whatever you want to call it, whenever it starts to do so, it literally grows this direction, which means if you have the acrylic here, it's going to be flooding this cuticle. You can fix it, but it's going to possibly be painful for the client. You got to be doing all this, but it's just extra work that's not necessary. And if you go a little space up, guess what? When it grows, that little, just a little bit, don't got to be too much. Because it's going to grow and it's going to stop right there. It's going to have that perfect little space down there. And it needs that, okay? So your glue going to flood. That's going to be one of your top keys of that nail in its longevity. Also, if you ever read, I hope y'all read the book. It also states the nail is supposed to look as though it is growing out of the nail plate. Now, of course, we got different styles, but that is right there a part of the foundation. It's not some aesthetic or look. That's because that is what keeps the longevity of the nail, and for other reasons that you don't pile product in this area. That's crucial because that's where the nail grows. Okay. I just put y'all on so much game that it's there, but people don't pay no mind to. They overlook because they think, oh, I got all this, whatever. I'm not knocking or bash anything or anybody. It's just to put this out there so individuals can be aware. I can guarantee you, a lot of people do not know that acrylic grows like that in that direction. I'm gonna be honest, y'all know that little emoji that has the little bomb explosion over the head? That was me when I found that out. I was like, wait, what? And when I used to get my nails done all the time, I used to be so angry when the nail tech would leave that space in the nail, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Yo, I had one of my nail techs. Okay, when I was a teenager, now my mom was allowing me to get my nails done. I was like 15, going on 16, and I had one, two, 3.5 nail techs because it was five. Number four was like that nail tech that I had that where they were all in different areas. I was a military brat, so we had good damn nail techs in different areas, different pros and different area codes. Okay. Anyways, no, for on a serious note, this particular one, she was in an area and their stuff they were good. I went to them a few times. Me and my mom and my sister, we didn't play about our nails, okay? And you know, but that was like we didn't go as much. Now the one that we had when we were in our, after all the traveling and all that stuff, when we finally settled in the area that we're in, that particular nail tech, she used to put me on game. I learned a lot from her too, and it's really bad. But a lot of people still to this day kind of sticks my word out. Like, don't, like, and it's very helpful. Little tips and tricks that people don't know about. Like, and it just rocks my world. So it's like, y'all gonna be learning tips and tricks that people don't know, never heard, that's little. It's a minor, but it makes a big impact, okay? Like, I'm talking about stuff about primers that people don't know or talk about, stuff about, and y'all, this was, again, I'm talking about, I learned some nail game that people really don't know about. Like, I learned the agenda of the nail game that not all of them are like this, but, the founders of, nails or whatever. Anyways, y'all can't miss this boot camp, okay? Like I said, go sign up, check out the link. Um, let's get on. We talked a little bit about prep. I don't want to dive too much into prep. I know I just threw a lot out there, a little bit or whatever. Let's dive into B ratio, and it ties into from this prep. I'm gonna go right to the cuticle bead. That's it. I'm not gonna talk about the beads. I don't think, and it finally clicked on me as long as I had been doing nails. It finally, because I really wasn't, I didn't want to. I'm going to tell y'all, and a lot of people do this, they don't want to graph bead ratio. I have created it's the same thing, but the way that I say I've even put it in a graph so people can look at it like, oh, for the visuals in the hands-on. I've done it, that's already out there. Then you got say it in a certain way for the people who are audio learners, and there's different methods and ways. So I've put it like that so people can truly grasp and it really click and dawn the purpose of B ratio. B ratio is important. B ratio is not just what you put on it, it's also the ratio between the amount of liquid that mixes with the polymer. Polymer is acrylic powder, y'all. For those who don't know, I actually didn't go back to this nail supply after this. I had asked, I said, hey, where's y'all polymer? And, it's quote unquote educational terms, but it was out there before powder was out there, y'all. Come on now. And not y'all, just in general, like the people who try to treat like, oh, we don't see polymer anymore. It's polymer. That's like the scientific word. Stop playing with me. Anyways, I went to a nail supply store and the individual was like, what's a polymer? And I'm like, ain't you one of the owners? Mm-hmm. Didn't know what polymer was. And I'm like, yo, I got what I needed that day. Baby, I didn't go back to that. I have not been back to that store. I'm just being honest. You can't possibly walk in a store and not know what polymer is. Anyways. Oh my gosh. But anyways. You want to know what the bead ratio is. It's very important. Because I don't want to put my brush. Look at this. I don't want to put my brush. I don't want to immerse my brush in the liquid. I don't want to immerse my brush in the liquid. And then I go over here and dab the polymer. I'm going to keep saying polymer so people can know this terminology. I'm going to dab it in the polymer, aka powder. I'm going to dab it in there. I'm going to tap it. Did there seem like any type of equal, quote unquote, give and take or equivalency in that? Did there seem like any type? Does that click to you about bead ratio? Did it even sound like it makes sense? No, because why would I put that much liquid for such tiny amount of powder known as polymer? Why would I do that? That don't make sense. That bead ratio is way off. And if you proceed to using that type of bead amongst the nail, guess what? You can get heat spikes and different kind of things going on. It's a chemical reaction. So that's important to know. It's really important. That's important to know. That's important to know. Okay? So now if I take this brush, this nail acrylic brush, this Kalinsky, 100% Kalinsky brush, I'm saying that for a reason, and I dip it in the monomer, aka liquid, acrylic liquid, I immerse it in there, a full gauge, only a slight white on the other opposite side, and I go in and I dab it in the powder known as polymer, and I hold it in there, or I go tap it 3 times. What do I have? I have a large bead. And it's that simple for a bead ratio. To some people, they think that don't matter. Yes, it does matter when it comes to the acrylic nails. It does matter. It matters. Also, because you don't want this nail looking like... I'm going to tell y'all. Y'all see how these nails look? Nails can look so different. You can put the same shape in your shape. Your nails could... The look of it, the consistency of it could look totally different because your bead ratio might not be like mine. You could do that with somebody's set. This nail could look like a whole other nail. And there's clients out there, they don't like that. And I'm one of them. No, that's why I say what you do to one nail, you do to the others. Okay? Now, let's get back on this cuticle bead. The cuticle bead. I'm dipping it, and I'm going to go wipe, wipe, wipe. And I'm going to take the opposite side. And I'm going to dab it one time. I'm going to slightly drag it for 1 second. Right? 1 quick second. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. Okay. And this is something that I'm going to be talking about. I haven't even went into what the purpose of the brush. A lot of people don't even know that. They're just doing nails. They don't even know. Like, you're supposed to be knowing what you're working with, y'all. Come on now. You got to know what you're working with. Okay? So, with that being said, this powder, this acrylic powder, is now bonded with the liquid. It's been sitting there. The longer it sits, this acrylic is now going to start curing. It's going to start hardening. So, guess what? I have it, right? But you want it to sit a little bit because you don't want your cuticle bead to run. Your cuticle bead should not be running, or you're gonna have flooding. So let it sit for a little bit. Or what I like to do, if I don't want to let it sit, I take it. This, let's say this is the little tablet. You let it dry a little bit on the tablet. Now it's ready to go. Ready to go. I'm gonna place it right there. I'm not gonna go all the way down here. I'm not gonna go all the way down there. I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit because if you let that sit, it'll control the running. It helps control that running. Let it sit, and then you'll release it, and you take it off. Wipe your brush, and then you're gonna wipe and blend it in. Wipe. Okay? That's that. That's how you master that cuticle bead on in the bead ratio when it comes to placing a cuticle bead on the nail. If you've just joined, I am going over how to properly place the cuticle bead without it running and explaining what it does when the cuticle bead cures. If you want to know more about this, y'all go check out that link. There will be a 3-day boot camp starting in the beginning of April coming up. It's going to be amazing. Go sign up for that boot camp. It's free. It's just free game. It's to help out those who are looking to really upskill themselves with their nail technique and their nail game. Also, there's a lot of things that a lot of individuals don't know or don't talk about that I would like to share with you guys. It's going to be fun. It's going to be something to keep you engaged. So go check that out, y'all. Go check that out. But yes, we talked about prep. We talked a little bit about prep. A little bit. And I know it's been really engaging. So we've talked about prep and how to look for that skin on top of that nail plate. We've talked about how once you push that skin back, how that skin right there can possibly sit right there on that nail plate. If you do not take care of that and get that skin removed off of that nail plate down there, what happens is once you put that acrylic on there, see what a lot of people, like I've mentioned, a lot of people don't know that acrylic grows back as it cures, as it dries, or as it hardens. It grows. So if you have not done what you need to do for that skin that's on the nail plate, what ends up happening is that acrylic is now hardened on top of it. And over time, if not right away, I've seen this time and time again, especially if you have clear acrylic, and that's something I want to talk about. You can't really see it on that nude acrylic or colored acrylics. You're not gonna see it. But if you got clear acrylic or transparent, sheer, nude acrylic, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it already lift. Don't nobody want to talk about that though. I see this a lot. I see it often, and it's already started lifting. Either it's gonna start lifting now, or it's gonna lift down the road. It's gonna lift later down the road, real quick. It might not be a big lift, but it might be a slight lift. But that's because the acrylic is literally sitting on top of that extra skin that's at the that you didn't remove. Oh, and that brings me back to when I used to work at a salon, we used to literally label these. Everybody's cuticles are not the same. They're not the same. You got people who have really dry cuticles. Then you got that sitting on that little area. You got people whose nails are like literally sticky. We're dealing with sticky cuticles where it just sticks, and you gotta really like work your magic with the. A lot of times, I'm gonna be honest, the buffer. And I know that's why it's important to dehydrate the nail too, but of course, a band would get that off, and a lot of times people oversleep on the manual buffers, but hey, it does the trick. And the thing about those buffers, when you have the right amount of hand pressure, it will not take away those layers of the natural nail plate, which is healthy for the natural nail. So I just want to put that out there. We call them sticky cuticles, really dry cuticles, running cuticles. We call it all kind of stuff all over the place. We just naming them stuff, y'all. It was just describing how the individual's cuticles were. So yeah, we talked about prep, and then how to properly push those that skin back to really see what's going on their nail plate. Because usually when you push that skin back, it'd be like, hello. And then we discussed B ratio and how to properly place that cuticle bead on there. So yeah, go sign up for this boot camp. I'm not gonna stress it again. Oh yeah, Q&A. Oh my gosh, I totally got off. Like, okay, so if you have any questions, comment in the comment section, comment below. Comment what questions you have when it comes to nails, prep, retention, hell, the apex, all of that. And another thing that's going to be getting discussed is like where we're debunking competition and know-it-alls. Okay, like we're all here to learn. We're all here to hopefully you want to continue to raise your skill, raise your technique, your nail technique. You want to do that. That's the idea, You always want to be 5 and 10, 15 steps ahead of your clients, right? In this day and age, y'all, I promise you, it's different. It ain't like just a couple of years ago because everybody wasn't filming everything. Everybody wasn't putting all this stuff on the internet. So you didn't, you were okay if you went 6 months without researching or updating. No. Now, and I'm not saying do this so you can always like one up your client or anything like that. No, don't. No. The idea is you supposed to be the professional. You gotta take your reins, and and that's all that is. That's all it is to it. I see a lot of things on social media where somebody's always trying to like one up something. We should do that. We should come together. It's just just want to debunk these things but again, now I can go on TikTok right now and see somebody talking about some stuff or some 9 times out of 10. Now, obviously, all the stuff that I'm not the first off, a lot of stuff that I've talked about, you don't see on online or whatever every day or whatever. Don't nobody talk about none of that stuff. Don't nobody want to talk about a textbook. I'm not really talking about the textbook. I'm just proving the textbook, right? That's it. And again, I'm still in from the textbook. This is from game that, that I picked up, that I've learned personally, that, from basically being a practitioner of it. Also, from people who's been in the game for decade after decade after decade and taught me. So it's a variety of things. Of course, there's things that I have learned online, in all honesty. But I mean, you put all that together, what you got it? You know what I mean? And again, that's not to say, oh, I'm the baddest person in the game. No, but you would like to, and so in some way think of yourself. And I'm basically giving you the mindset to kind of go on your thick skin, But if somebody comes to you with a question, we shouldn't be That's a whole nother, y'all, that's a whole nother live. Know your stuff. Know your craft, okay? Know your craft. That's the whole point. Um, research, research, research. Practice, practice, practice. You know what I mean? You won't know, like, I'm weird. I'm one of the people, I'm going to keep nicking and nicking and nicking and nicking at it until I just really find and figure some stuff out. I'm that nitty gritty. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, y'all, YouTube. I'm concluding it with you guys today. I really hope y'all stay with me. Stay with me, Facebook. Stay with me, because I was on YouTube before I was on Facebook. Okay. Okay. YouTube. That is that. I hope y'all really learned a thing or two, maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't know. I hope you had your aha moment. I hope you had your wow moment. I hope that you had whatever. And I also would love for you to go sign up for that boot camp, okay? Do not sleep on this boot camp, you guys. Go sign up. Basically, this sign up is I'm going to be having show hosting the group really soon. It's already set up. It's just some things on the back end that there's some things I'm wearing a certain way. So don't be mad. Like if y'all already see people there. It's like, hey, she told me first, whatever. You know, just joking around with it. This is basically just a pre-notice. Like, hey, I want first dibs. If you want the first dibs, go ahead and sign up now, and you will be definitely reminded. I will, just basically shoot out the link and give you the dates, the times, because it's also more than one day event. Like again, there's gonna be some interesting things, like I said, that you don't see really. And if you like me, if you are on the news feed, if you just watching nail stuff, that's pretty much all I watch, y'all. Like it's scary. And then outside of that, I am, working on the craft and researching, going to workshops and doing things like that, as y'all should. Okay, that's the idea. So, YouTube. I love you guys. Again, this was a Q&A, not so-and-so of a Q&A where I throw out questions and answer them, but just putting it out there. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section, and we will chat about it next time, y'all. Till next time.